You said it. It was on.
It's time to go, baby. We were just jamming. Well, we were discussing. If you haven't heard the song, it's a Cedar Point song.
I got something to tell you.
Oh, there's really lyrics in there. We're referring to the song by, is it Vega Boys? Vega Boys?
It's Venga.
Venga. Where are they from?
Boys.
Where are they from?
We like to party.
We like to party.
We like
I think
to
that's
party.
the first song that I ever heard that had like the train horn. Because there's another, the train. Come on, ride the train.
Oh.
And ride it. They have that one too. Is that what it is? Welcome to Grease and Grace, everybody. We're back.
I wish people could see what we're doing right now. We're like totally dancing, like
we're having a 2-person.
It's all right. It's all good. Hey, my name's Jordan. Welcome to Grease and Grace, and this is
Kim. I also say welcome. I'm happy to know that you are here. Happy to know that you are listening. Still amidst our ADHD.
How are you still here?
I know, but we appreciate it.
What are you eating?
It's stone fruit season, baby. I'm eating a peach. Oh, listen.
You know
this
that
is
Nicolas Cage, a peach. I could eat a peach for hours.
What's that from?
Oh,
I don't know what that's from.
I'll tell you. Keep going. Anyway.
Nicolas Cage?
What'd you call it? What fruit season?
Stone fruit.
What is a stone fruit?
I'm eating the peach as I'm talking to you guys.
Oh.
Stone fruit are any fruits with a pit in the middle. It is my favorite fruit season. So cherries, apricots, peaches, plums.
Watermelon?
No, those don't have a pit.
Oh, have a pit.
No.
What did they have? Seeds
Like-
in it?
What? Does what?
They have a seed in it.
The peach has a seed, but it's a pit. I'm going to look it up because, oh no, I can't miss it. So yesterday, before we actually record, I always kind of like play this game of like, what are we going to talk about kind of a thing, you know?
And then sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't.
No, it never has happened.
No.
It's never happened.
Before we started this podcast, we put a list of things together that we would like to talk about. We have yet to touch that list. Oh, and by the way, that I Could Eat a Peach for Hours, that is Nicolas Cage as Castor Troy from the 1997 hit Face Off. I'm going to take his face.
I've never seen Face Off.
Off. I'm going to take his face.
I've never seen
off.
it. There's going to be peach juice all over the place. Okay, so stone fruit.
My word.
It's also known as a drupe.
A drupe?
They are fruits that have a pit or stone in the center that contains the fruit's seed surrounded by a fleshy exterior, hence a peach. And so, a coconut.
A peach.
There's nothing in the middle of coconuts.
Cocoa
Well,
nuts.
listen. This is like my absolute favorite
So this is it.
fruit. Like,
This is the season.
so I never grew up eating fresh cherries. I thought
I love cherries.
fresh cherries tasted like maraschino cherries like all the time.
No. Totally
No.
different. Yeah.
Total different. So now, because I didn't have them as a kid, I can eat my weight in cherries.
I don't think you could.
Oh,
I think if you ate your weight in cherries, you'd be
Jordan.
sitting on a stool
Jordan.
in a room
I've eaten 4 bags
With-
in one sitting.
with plumbing.
Nope. I've eaten 4 bags in one sitting and been perfectly fine. I love cherries. And it's like one of those mindless things that you just like,
You just keep going.
you keep going. And
Spit it,
and
eat
so
it,
like
spit it.
I dissociate for a little bit, stare off into the distance, and just eat cherries.
Some people are drinking. I'm eating cherries until I can't see straight or go into a room with plumbing.
Also know that every single time that I come and we record, I have snacks with me. Like
You do.
I have a legit.
What do we got today?
Today I have pita chips.
Pita chips,
I have pepitas,
pepitas,
which is just pumpkin seeds. I don't know what makes it a pepita. I have some pineapple mango sparkling drink and a fresh peach. And so normally I bring it because podcast falls right in my like snacking time.
Oh.
Are you a grazer?
So I do intermittent fasting, which means I do not eat from 8 o'clock p.m. till noon. So
That's a long time.
It is. And then I start to eat at noon, and I eat from noon till 8. And I usually start, like, lunch is usually breakfast because it is, like, legitimate breaking fast. So I eat a lot of omelets. And then I love omelets. And
I
then,
like omelets, but I got to switch it up.
I
I have, like, 4 breakfasts that I switch up.
What do you got? Give it to me.
So I'll do an avocado toast normally once a week.
Bethany eats tons of avocado toast.
And I switch that up too. So like most of the time I go to is like everything seasoning.
Yep.
a little bit of cream cheese, and then I put an egg on top because I always make sure to have a little bit of protein.
Gotta do that.
Then, and it is the weirdest breakfast. I don't know where it came from, but Brussels sprouts, onions. I know, Jordan, your face just completely.
I just
changed.
told my face, don't make that face, and it did. I was like,
oh, Brussels sprouts, like shaved Brussels sprouts. Saute them with some onion.
You prove weekly you're a chef. You know that? Like weekly, you're like, hey, you want to know how I'm a chef? I eat Brussels sprouts in the morning. I guarantee you, not one person out there eats Brussels sprouts in the morning.
I'm sure people eat
Guarantee
Brussels sprouts. It's so good. It's a great way to get veggies in, and it tastes delicious with your eggs.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying
So,
I don't think it's a go-to.
Mix that with some sweet potato and sometimes spinach, sometimes broccoli, and then just crack like 3 eggs. But that's a Kim is going to work and cannot get up.
I got to do some work today.
Yeah, like I'm not getting up if I eat that breakfast.
Yeah.
Fruit. I eat so much.
I love fruit. Like people are like, "Do you like chocolate?" I'm like, "Nope, I like fruit." I could eat fruit. Like,
yeah.
If you put a piece of candy in front of me or like a peach, which you just
speaking of fruit
in your mouth,
I'm dripping all over the place.
There's nothing here. There's no one to help you. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to.
Is there a napkin in this room?
There's nothing here. You brought everything to eat and nothing to like clean up after yourself. Use a little towel or whatever. I don't know. Whatever that thing
towel.
is. That's a placemat to a table. I dare you.
We gotta do something.
Gotta do something.
What's your favorite fruit?
Okay, so anyway, well, pause for a second. So you asked if I snack. So people could see what's transpired. I swear, there's no You're gonna use a coffee filter for a napkin. Oh my god!
I'm not gonna let it dry and get sticky on the table.
All right, that's fine. So anyway, I eat lunch and I eat dinner.
Next week, whenever somebody sits here, they're gonna be like,
no.
"What is this?" The table's not getting
lick
clean.
the table like Charlie Chocolate Factory. Like this tastes like peaches. Your kids will be in this room and they'll be like, and so anyways, like 2:30 to 3 is when I go to town. Like I will eat like
you just smash your kitchen.
Cereal, love cereal.
What's your go-to cereal? You're probably not a sugary cereal person.
I eat. So this is funny that you bring this up because the other day Bethany, since the kids are home, took my youngest Gianna grocery shopping with her. Don't take your kids grocery shopping because
no, I haven't.
You'll come home with stuff that you don't want to come home with.
Yes, but also I shop for multiple. Like I've always since I had the restaurant, I would shop for the restaurant and home at the same time. So there would be so much in my car that my kids wouldn't fit. So I have learned very early on to not take them. It stresses me out.
Gianna is notorious for like, let's get this. So bowl full of cherries is in her house. We don't normally buy those. They're fantastic. And then she got cereal, and so she bought like because it's on her level. She's my height. That's weird to say that. You didn't know like the cereal boxes. Like the cereal is
yes,
it's on like the level of like the kids or whatever the case is.
Yes, I very much knew that because actually, like all grocery stores are like mapped out and planned out specifically so that like different people grab different things type of situation.
So people always say if you want to stay healthy, stay on the outside of the grocery store. Like so you go to the
but chips are so good.
Bethany loves chips. Oh my goodness.
You didn't bring your chips.
I didn't bring them because I ate them all.
Those are so good. Anyway,
speaking of food, the other day we had an event in the community and we got chips and there's these Cuban like Fritos or whatever.
Lay's rippled.
It tasted
Cubano
like it tasted like an old school mean bean sandwich, which is what you used to own.
But I never did Cubanos. But
Italiano.
I should have.
That's what it tasted like.
Cubanos are so good.
You can taste like the pickles and then it follows by the bread and all that other stuff. So anyway, all that to say, favorite cereal. There's usually Cheerios in our house all the time. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying
staring at you so hard.
And then like with whatever is there. How dare you eat Cheerios? Like
Cheerios taste like what sorry Cheerios. They taste like
what I apologize to a box of cereal.
Like the brand. Cheerios taste like what I would imagine pee to taste like.
Urine?
Yes. I can't stand the smell of Cheerios.
You're stranded on a desert island forced to drink your own urine. You're like, this is Cheerios. This is exactly
Like,
Cheerios.
That's exactly what and beer. Like those two things, if you were to like have a bowl a bowl of Cheerios
Yeah.
with like beer, I'd be
Ooh.
like, that's somebody's pee. I'm near somebody. Like,
Ooh.
but I don't
Neither
of those are ingested by me.
The older I get, the harder it is to do like dairy. Like I can do eggs, but like so I don't put milk on my cereal. I put almond milk on it.
That's still milk.
Almond milk and milk are two different things. It's softer on your stomach or whatever.
Oh,
So,
I could not tell you the last time that I drank a cup of milk.
I can't tell you either. Like I don't do it.
It has always made me throw up.
Really?
Yes.
Like you legit
like,
throw up? Do you think
legitimately.
What is that called when you can't eat dairy?
Well, so that's
Lactose
lactose intolerance, but I'm not lactose intolerant. I can have ice cream. I don't know. I think we've kind of I
don't
haven't
eat
ever
ice cream ever
gotten
either.
it checked out. Like I haven't ever gone to a doctor and like, hey, this is what's going on situation.
I drink milk and throw up. What do you think that is?
Well, I think it's some kind of like, I don't know, enzyme or something that's in like milk that makes my stomach. It's almost an immediate. My stomach turns.
Ugh.
And it's been like that. My mom said once I stopped drinking bottles, like I don't drink
You're
milk.
out.
It's gross. It smells horrid, and it just So if I'm gonna have milk, it's gonna be oat milk.
Yeah,
But
and-
I don't keep that.
Well, and if I'm snacking, like it's totally fruit. It's always fruit, like whatever I can find, an apple, an orange, like whatever the case is. Anyway, moving to the left,
Yeah.
to the left, to the left.
Yeah, see, we've got music flowing. Oh, which
Once
again, if nobody has heard that song, they
in my
don't
head. You're
have
missing
any
out.
idea.
You are missing
Do you
out.
remember the Cedar Point? That was like their song.
Yeah, with the guy in
The old guy.
glasses. Yeah.
Who kind of, if I remember right, kind of looked like the guy on Toy Story. I think it's Toy Story 2. Okay,
He looks like the old man from Up at Healthy.
So maybe I have a different picture. Have we seen the same old guy?
A healthy old guy.
He's
And there
dancing.
was-
He's a little dancing man. So how are you?
Dancing
What's
man.
going on,
I'm
man?
good, but do we have any feedback? We always start with feedback.
So we don't have exact feedback. So we have some
from last
responses.
week. Okay, response from last week. Here we go.
Here
we go.
So, and I'm a little irked because I thought this was a great question.
Is miffed a bad word?
No,
I didn't think
I've
so.
used miffed,
Yeah, like
miffed
somebody,
and irked.
I said that one day, and somebody was like, "You can't say that," and I'm like, "I think I can," and I did. I don't think it's a bad word.
I don't think it's a bad word.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways,
Carry on.
I
on.
had asked a question. We had asked a question
Correct.
of like what was your favorite job, and we have barely gotten any responses.
Oh no.
And so, do better. Do better.
First of all, do better.
Mom Kim is coming in. I'm wearing a shirt today that says "Be great."
Be great.
Be great at the comment.
Yeah. Be great at giving us feedback.
So it's from Lisa,
Hi, Lisa.
and her favorite job was at the World's Fair in 1986, which I don't know what the World's Fair is.
Pump the brakes. World's Fair, and you gave a date that you kind of told your age, because I don't think World's Fairs exist anymore. I'm gonna.
What's
find
World's
out.
Fair?
You don't know what a World's Fair is?
No,
I
I didn't give my age because I don't know what it is.
So
While you're looking it up,
go ahead. Yeah. Give it.
so she had made Belgian waffles, which if this is a summertime activity, which what fair isn't?
Yeah.
I don't want a waffle.
I can see that.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah,
lot to go in
it's
my
heavy.
stomach. Yeah.
But your stomach doesn't do well with life. Your stomach doesn't like life at all. Okay, the World's Fair. You really don't know what the World's Fair is?
No, I genuinely don't.
The World's Fair, also known as the Universal Exposition or an expo, is a large global exhibition designed to showcase the achievements of the nations. These exhibitions vary in character and held in different parts of the world, a specific site for a period of time, typically between 3 and 6 months. It started in 1791, and I still don't know if it's going on today, but it might. Actually, it does. It is still going on today. The next one is in 2025 in Okasawa, Kanasai. I said
Where?
that wrong.
Say it fast. It's like an Old Testament name.
Osaka Kasai.
So it's like an Olympics for your brain?
It's kind of like where they showcase like from what I gather, like they showcase like Epcot Center came from the World's Fair, from what I gather. I think that's right.
Huh.
I could be wrong on that, but yeah, like that's kind of how they. There's also like other things that have come out of that, like.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little underwhelmed by that description.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't
like,
sound wonderful.
They always have like a theme to it. So, for example, when was she there? 1986. Okay, so like in 19. I don't see the 86 one, but like the 70 one, for example, was on progress and like harmony for mankind. So they like will all like showcase like things that carry that theme. Yeah, it's super boring. People are like, I was listening, now I'm out.
I don't know what that is.
This podcast took a turn for the worst.
That's so weird, huh? Well, she made Belgian waffles, so it sounds like more of an indoor kind of thing. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then we got 2 responses to other concerts that like I just forgot about. So
go for it.
In response to our last episode, somebody had replied and said, if I could pick, I would live the concert moment of Live Aid just during the Queen set.
Live Aid was fantastic. That's a good recommendation.
Not it for me. Like I know what it is, but I know that it was like I kind of did a little bit of looking up because I've seen it. Like there's a show on ABC that I watch, and it's like it takes part in the 80s, and they talk about Live Aid, and so I've been like, what is it? So I know kind of what it was.
Oh, that's a good.
But yeah, she was like such iconic moments. The recreation of that performance and the recent biopic of Freddie Mercury.
I mean, you're talking like in Live Aid, you're talking Sting, Phil Collins, U2, Queen, David Bowie, The Who, Elton John, Freddie Mercury, Paul McCartney.
Wow. Like, those are some names.
Yeah.
Phil Collins was in Genesis. Right?
Is that him?
Yes. He was in Genesis. Is that Genesis? Is that when it was Genesis?
Maybe. Yeah.
I feel like that is correct, and then he broke off. Man, he sang for that Tarzan soundtrack and crushed it.
Let me tell you where I like you, Phil. I like you as Tarzan.
That was a great soundtrack.
Crushed in Tarzan.
The other one that somebody sent in, and I listened to the playlist today.
Man, Live Aid is a good one.
I didn't listen to Live Aid, but Lilith Fair.
I don't know what that is.
Lilith Fair was like all women. I think it was set up by Sarah McLachlan.
It's still going on.
Is it?
Sounds like it. Anyway, go ahead.
It was set up by Sarah McLachlan.
1997.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the person told me it was 98 when she went.
Yep, there's a 98 one.
And I said, that sounds just like so many women. That's so much estrogen, but big names. And so I was listening today. So when I listen to 90s music, for the most part, I'm getting like...
This is crazy lineup. Okay, so you got Sarah McLachlan and Bonnie Raitt all the way to Missy Elliott and Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
Same
but
stage.
It was all women.
It's all women.
All
like
women.
Everything in here is all women.
I'm sure dudes attended, but like it was probably few and far between.
It sounds like a total like I won't say what I think,
yes. So. No, I know. I'm reading you because I said the same thing. And that was part of our conversation. But I did listen to it today. And when I listen to 90s music, I always feel like it's missing like those core Lilith Fair women.
Yeah.
It just calmed the seas of my soul today to just listen to it.
You can find like the live version of it?
No. Just like if you go into Spotify, like that's what I was listening to today was
dude, you got in 2010 there was a revival. You have Colby Cayette, Cayette, to Erykah Badu, to the Indigo Girls, to Mary J. Blige.
Ooh, that would have been the one that I would want to go to.
Sheryl Crow. Whoa, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that existed.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, probably people are like, what's Tomorrowland?
You're not a lady, so there's that.
Wasn't invited to that party.
But yeah, like
You're the one guy that shows up there like, What are you doing here? Like, did you get lost?
I've gone to a comedy show with two women, and it's mostly like it's for moms. And every time that they have a show, it is like 3 dudes in the entire place, and they always call them down, and they're like, "Good on you, man! Like, way to go!"
Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's interesting. Like, first of all, I didn't realize all the people at Live Aid, and then I didn't realize that Lilith Fair was even a thing.
Lilith.
Who's Lilith Fair? Who is that?
Lilith
Yeah.
Fair. I don't know. It just
Lilith
sounds...
Fair was a concert tour traveling music festival, but it was founded by Sarah McLachlan
Yeah.
and like Terry McBride. But like, why call it Lilith Fair? I don't know. That's interesting.
Hey, Sarah McLachlan, can
Hey,
you come chat?
Sarah, hit me up. Why it is your music festival that?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's like a definition for the word Lilith or something, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like if we read too much into it, it would take us to a point where we can't share on this podcast for some reason.
Couldn't talk about it.
I feel like...
Oh, Lilith is from the Jewish lore that Lilith was Adam's first wife who refused to be subservient to him. So we're totally off the biblical basis here.
What?
That's crazy.
Where's that from?
McLachlan founded the Lilith Fair Tour, taking Lilith from the Jewish lore that Lilith was Adam, first man, first wife who refused to be subservient to him. Did you not read the Bible? Like,
it's very black and white. Who was the first and only? If I'm thinking correctly.
This is how kids get participation trophies. They're like, don't like that. I'm writing in my own thing. Like, what? Like, you can't do that.
That's so, well, she didn't make that lore up.
Get this, 97, she garnered $16 million gross, making it the top grossing of any touring festival.
Because yeah,
ladies getting excited.
Yeah, well, because that was such a great time for women in music. Like, really great songs. There was what song? Oh, she had. I
still got Phil Collins in my head.
Sent me "Fade Into You." Not fade. She didn't send it to me, but she had sent me another
by
playlist.
McLachlan or who?
No,
who sings that?
Fade into you. Is it Mazzy Star? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just went totally on your own there. Like, it's just like walking.
You
like,
just like
from the living room to the kitchen. You just went. I faded to. Like,
I mean, there's sometimes when I'm eating something and I'm like, oh, I need to fade into
Beach
this.
went to your brain and you left planet Earth for 2 minutes and just were like, yeah, that's a jam. I like that song.
Yeah. So those were the feedbacks, but the two great.
That's good.
Two great additions. I still stand by the 4.
This is why you need to comment.
I know. This is why you need to comment.
Because that makes sense.
Great conversation.
I love that.
We learned some things. Look at us go. Speaking of learning things and researching.
Go for it.
Okay. So not too long ago.
Great transition.
Not too long ago. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this was, I think, on my Instagram, and that's where I saved it.
Do you call it Insta or Instagram? Check out my Insta.
I feel like I'm too old to say Insta.
Anytime somebody shortens anything, I immediately cringe. I'm like
totes.
Why?
That's totes cool.
Like sus. Like, hey man, that's sus. Don't do that.
My kid says sus all the time.
You should flick
Dude,
him
you're
in the
sus.
head.
You're so sus.
Flick him right in the nose. What'd you say?
So I'm going to show you this video, and while you are watching this video, I'm going to explain.
Oh boy,
what's
happening?
Yeah, what's happening?
All right,
because on your mark,
get set, go.
Okay, so what Jordan is watching currently.
Oh, I know this.
You know this?
Watch the whole documentary.
Tell me about it. Okay, so
it's the cheese, right?
It's the cheese.
Where they roll the cheese down the hill.
People, okay, for those of you, why did you watch a documentary on this, Jordan?
It's so funny that I know it didn't.
This just popped up. Have you done it? Is this like a bucket list item?
It's in Iceland or Greenland or something like that.
No, it's in London.
Yeah. Like,
okay,
whatever. They all talk the same to me. So, it's called
the Gloucester or the Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake is an annual event. I did some research on this because it popped up.
We Are the Champions. That's what it's called. It's on Netflix. We are the champions, my friend. Queen.
All about this event?
So, yeah, We Are the Champions is a cheese rolling TV special out of Netflix from like 2020, and these people, it's this giant hill in London, and they
In Gloucestershire.
Yeah, Gloucestershire, and they have like this cheese wheel, and they roll it down, and then they just fly down after it, and they roll down the hill, and people
Like,
get hurt and
Tumble.
Oh yeah,
They don't just roll. So I saw
why
this
is this like?
because I was like, this is the weirdest
We should
thing.
do it at Frog Hill in Bremen.
I'm not participating. There's so many things that people participate in, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Nobody is forcing you into this. Oh my goodness, the table is so sticky.
You're like, I ain't doing that.
No, I'm not. No, because I'm watching. Okay, for anybody who doesn't understand what we're talking about right now,
Just look it up.
It's is it Gloucestershire?
There's a name for it. Yeah.
The Cooper's Hill
Yeah.
cheese rolling and wake. So it started in like the 1600s.
Correct.
And
Rainn Wilson from The Office narrates the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it funny then?
He is, for those of you who don't know who Rainn Wilson is, he is Dwight in the hit series The
Beats
Office.
Battlestar. Oh wait, Beats Bears Battlestar Galactica.
Jim! Yeah, he is. He narrates it, which he is a fascinating individual, as is. But anyway,
He very much is.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Soul Pancakes.
So
That's his thing.
that's his podcast. He just started it not too long ago.
Yep.
Um,
Gave you a recommendation there, Rain. Why don't you kick one over? And by the way, that is not a his wording is less than ideal. He has people on there that have bad mouths. Let's just say that.
on the documentary or
On
on
Soul
his
Pancakes.
podcast? Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, his podcast is a little rough sometimes. Anyway.
So anyways,
I just don't want people running over there and being like, "What did you guys?"
What
We did not
recommendation?
recommend that. We're just saying he has that. Anyway, go ahead.
so they roll this cheese wheel,
Yep.
which do they use the same cheese wheel?
Yeah, every single year.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, go ahead.
They put the cheese wheel in a box, in a circular box,
Correct.
to protect it.
Yep.
I would want to eat the cheese.
And dudes just go roll.
So they roll the
hill.
cheese for like a brief second, and then people just run down and chase it.
And it's like
and
guys and girls and the whole nine.
They
yards.
have a men's race, they have a women's race,
Yep.
and then they have a children's race. The children, they run up the hill
Yeah.
to get it. But
It's apocalyptic almost, like because people are just like dying down.
after cheese, broken bones,
You get something if you like make it down first. I
you get
can't
the
remember.
cheese.
Oh
The-
yeah,
the
you
end.
Yeah.
You get the cheese. And if you are anything like me, you're not a cheese person. And so there is nothing desirable about any of that activity. I can't stand running.
Well, you don't really have to run. You have to roll down a hill.
You
Like there's
start-
no running.
That's true. I don't like running. I wish I did. I tried to run not too long ago. It ain't it for me. It's
You don't like to run? Do you just feel like God didn't create you to run?
I know that he didn't create me. Well, I can sprint.
You just said, I know. I talked to him. He validated
That was in
it.
conference
He
room
was
15.
Like, yeah. Like, let's talk about
No,
this.
so okay, we can get into some serious conversation because Josh, before he was
doesn't
an
run either.
electrician, no, but before he was an electrician, he studied exercise science.
Okay.
And so he knows a lot
Would
about.
he run down the cheese? I think he'd do it. I could see him doing it.
No.
I could.
Have you met him?
Yeah.
He and I are very similar in this aspect. For what?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could talk him into it. I think I could be like, hey, buddy,
okay.
let's roll
you
down.
You try that.
I will.
I don't think that I don't think
Okay, man, you want to go rolling down Frog Hill after some cheese?
Josh isn't one to partake in like silly shenanigans often.
It's too bad.
Like
Actually, this is funny. Yesterday I saw him, and this is when you podcast and people listen to your podcast comes back to bite you a little bit. He's like, I was like, hey man, we can do this. We're doing a project at church, and he's like, I was like, yeah, we could do that. And he's like, maybe I'll say more than 12 words. And I was like, that hurts my soul. I'm sorry.
oh, so thank you for listening. As you slowly
High
slouch away.
five! You
yes.
All right, you listen.
So anyways, yeah.
Instead, I was just crushed. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Are you offended? Because I'll stop.
My mom texted me after the last episode, and she was like, "So Jordan thinks that I think Kevin is a Motel 6?" And I was like, "No, mom." In real life, my mom is very. She reads the Bible. She understands. There's some theology that she follows. She's just.
It'll be okay.
So anyway, he studied exercise science.
Okay, yeah.
And so
He does not recommend rolling down hills for exercise.
But so you have slow twitch muscles and you have fast twitch muscles.
Yep.
And some people are born with fast twitch muscles who can
The problem is you don't really know which ones you have.
You don't until you start trying to run long distances and you're like hacking and gagging. I used to be able to run. It's probably just because I haven't ran. I used to run.
Do you ever look at people sometimes and you're like, man, you could be super athletic, but they aren't? I feel like they're wasting their God-given like talent.
Well,
I met a guy once. He would like genetics play a part in lifting, and I like to lift. And he's like, I just looked at him and I was like, you could be the world's strongest man. Like he was in that category, and I was just like, oh, you're wasting your like genetics there.
But they don't have a drive for that.
Like they don't have the drive. Like it's not.
You can also run. I've seen your times. Like
me?
Yeah, you. Yeah. I've seen your times, and I'm like, oh my goodness,
I like to do stupid stuff though, like put weighted vests on and like see how far I can go with that, and like, gross. Yeah, I like that stuff.
What is wrong with you?
Bethany actually the other night I was sitting. This is so funny, because I got a couple races coming up just for fun. And
just for fun, guys. Just for fun.
Funsies! Like, I'm that guy at the beginning of the race, like, I can't believe I paid money for this. I do this every day, And I don't even know how it came up. She's like, oh, we were talking about ultras. So, like, people who run, like, 100s
like days.
and 50s and stuff like that. And I had a friend who just did a 62-miler and ran for, like, 15 hours and something like that. And Bethany goes, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, good for you, And she just totally like popped the ball.
No, I just saw like the aftermath of somebody who ran a 50.
Yeah, you lose all your toenails.
She like couldn't stand.
I love it.
And
so good.
I'm so distraught right now.
After and she's like, God did not create you. I'm like, Bethany, like it's a crazy accomplishment. She's like, you're being to tell me you want to do that. I was like, mate, well, not now. Like, maybe once. It was like talking to Josh, like, hey, maybe I'll say more than 12 words. I'm like, oh, man, like, I just want to make people happy. Validate me.
I used to run. Had I stayed with it, I probably would have been good. I'm a sprinter.
Yeah.
I'm really good at sprinting. But then that's it.
You're like my dog. He's good at short spurts.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Frank's like 50 yards, man. That's all I got. We're done.
Yeah, I like that. I used to. So
he's on
so safe to say you don't take Frank on your 9-mile runs.
That little guy's a crocodile, man. He's fast. People are like, whoa, when he gets the zoomies. Do you know dogs get the zoomies? You know what that is?
Yes, they do. My dog doesn't get zoomies very often because we don't have carpet. So like there's nothing for him to grip onto.
When they get the zoomies, man, like he's
even
fast.
Frank?
But then he's dead.
He's like, oh, it's my exercise for the day.
One sprint, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm very much like that. Like I can sprint. I'm fine once I like condition, I guess. Like for soccer.
You got to run in soccer though, right?
Yeah, but I have a reason to run. I'm not running. I don't want to run for nothing.
The next 5K, if somebody's like kicking a ball, and you're like, go get it, Kim.
No, really. I would. Like if I had, it's probably, maybe, I don't know what it is. It takes
like
my
dogs
mind.
At the racetrack with the rabbit. Like, I think I can get that. No.
Like I think it just distracts me. Maybe I don't know, but like for soccer, we would run 6 miles a day.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like
easy.
I could run, but I didn't like it. That's the thing. I've never enjoyed running the whole time. I used to have like really great times. I mean, I was just talking about it with Josh not too long ago because Miles has started another soccer team, and they run beforehand, and so he was talking about they ran 6 times around the track, which is a mile and a half.
Did they complain about it? Did they?
No, Miles was like,
he was good with it.
Yeah, he was totally chill with it. That kid, he's so athletic.
That's funny because like today, Bethany and I were talking about when the girls were young, and they used to say like their legs stopped working. They used to ride bikes and stuff like that. They'd be like, my legs don't work. And then for a while, they'd be like, I don't feel good. And we're like, what do you mean? Like, and then we realize, like, when you get like a pain in your side from running, like we just like pick them up and carry them.
You both were like, suck it up, Kareen. You're fine, Jihan.
And they'd be like, my legs stopped working. And we're like, you're good.
You're walking to me.
You look fine to me. Like, what's wrong here, you know?
Yeah, Miles, he
That's
doesn't
good for
have a
him, though.
problem. Yeah, and like we were at the park and I was watching a dude. Like I wasn't like watching him, but I was like, good for you. He ran around the park.
So is
like,
that fast
5
or
times.
slow twitch? I can't remember that. Like,
Slow twitch.
Slow twitch is
Fast
slow
twitch is like quick bursts,
Right.
and so I'm good with quick bursts. So that's
like
why I
hit
enjoy.
training. Yeah.
That's why I enjoy like hit training. I enjoy strength training and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so, man, I haven't been at the gym, and I'm like itching to get back.
See, I have a big problem. Like, so I have a race coming up, and I have a big problem paying for it. Like, that's where I get.
What do you mean? Like, are you asking for donations?
No,
right
like
now?
I get so like so.
There's a GoFundMe for Jordan's race.
Please, I wish, because I do more. Like, I've done triathlons and like foot races and all the other stuff, and the one coming up, which is just like a regular run, like 5Ks.
A foot
10Ks,
race is
foot
just running.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like our a few members of Bethany's family, my family, are doing this race, and they're like, you should do it. And I'm like, okay. And then I looked at like the price tag, and I'm like, why am I going to pay?
Why are races so expensive?
Oh, so a lot of them are fundraisers, but like, so like people are raising money, but then there's some that are like, nope, they're just charging you to run
There's
around.
money for money.
Yeah. So like, it's super hard for me to pay like $50, $100 to enter a race where I'm like, what?
$100?
Yeah, it can be. It depends on the length. Like, so what I've learned is the reason why people will charge you for a race is because like they have to block off the road. They have to pay like certain like, you know, all this other stuff and whatnot. And most of the time it's to raise money. If it's a good cause, like I can understand it, but I'm so cheap. I'm like looking for people like, would you like to support me to run a 5K? They're like, no. And I'm always like what's called 5K ready. So like you could be like, let's go run a 5K right now. I could do it. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't even think twice.
I know. I've seen how far you run.
But I'm not a runner. So it's just like one of those things where I'm like, okay.
You are a runner.
I don't think so. But compared to like somebody who can run. So like I had a buddy, he was a competitive marathon runner. He did Chicago in like 2:30 something, which equates to like a little, like around 5-minute miles.
Gross.
For 26 miles. Like 5 minutes. That's so fast. So like if you put me next to him, you'd be like, you're not a runner, like at all. Which this is the third time I had this conversation. You'll get a kick out of this. I believe with all my heart that there should be in the Olympics, a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
The same thing. Like we feel very strongly that there should be an ordinary average athlete at the bottom of the screen.
I think there might be a YouTube channel because
I wish
we were not having that conversation, but I was like somewhat listening.
We did. We were a part of it just a few days ago. Yeah. But so like, let's say the 100-meter dash, right?
Yeah.
You have 8 countries competing. Then you have the 9th lane, and it's Carl from like Canada or whatever. And he runs 5Ks on the weekend, right? Like he's your normal. He's not
Yeah.
Obese by any means. He is definitely like a fit person, but it would give you an idea of how really good those elite athletes are.
I'm telling you, I think
It'd be fantastic.
it's not like I don't know. I feel like I remember seeing like a show or something of that sort. I will have to do a little bit more digging because I know that that's a thing. Because I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Because like in my head, when I'm watching the Olympics, I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
You Monday quarterback it, right? Like you totally sit there and go like, it's funny when we used to do this when we were kids. So like we'd flip through baseball cards and you'd get to a guy and you're like, he stinks. And you're like, he's in the league. like what? I listen to guys talk like, he's terrible. I'm like, he's a professional athlete. Like you can't say that. Like he's got a baseball card. Like somebody thought it was nice. Where's your card? I was so like distraught. So anyway, like yeah, like these are normal like so we look at it just what you said. Like you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, he was terrible. Like,
yeah.
If I was there, I would have won.
Yeah, like the
you
gymnastics. Gymnastics, I'm always so whenever it's gymnastics for the Olympics, I'm always like, that handspring was horrible.
Can't believe it.
Look at that form.
Come
and
on,
then,
Dominique.
Like, I try and run around the block. I'm like, running.
You sound like Frank. Like this was a bad idea. Yeah,
I don't know why I think that. Or like, there's so many.
like there's one guy who can somewhat deadlift, right? He is at the weight competition, these power lifters or whatever, Olympic athletes, and he's trying to pull the bar off the thing. They're like, all right, I resonate. You know what? You're good. You're fine.
Have you ever seen? His name's Anatoly. Anatoly?
I don't know who this.
Oh my goodness, he's like, he might be like your size, like maybe even a little bit
Does he
smaller.
lift? He's a lifter?
Yes. So he pretends like he is like cleaning the floor.
Oh yeah, I know who that guy is.
And then he like goes and just like 7-8 plates on each side, and then just like lifts it like it's nothing.
Would you ever do that like with your profession? Like, I don't have a profession that I could do that. Like,
Out preach someone.
yeah. That'd be so bad. Like, you show. Oh
I think that literally negates the very
the core of what we do.
Of
right?
what you do.
Wow, he was really good. Like, where did you come? No. Like, not like. Where could you put that in context? Like with you, like being a chef, where you like actually go in and like make something that's like high quality. So while you're thinking about this, I've thought about this a lot too. I always think it'd be really interesting for like 5-star chefs that make the little skinny meals. You know what I'm talking about? Like the 7-course, like you get a
the small
bite
plates,
thing,
yeah.
and feed those to like homeless people and get their reactions. Because I guarantee you those people would be like, what is this? Like cheeseburger at McDonald's right now.
I don't know if that is applicable for being a chef, but also I go in it so like,
right.
I'm not saying like, look at me, I'm such a humble person,
right,
but
right.
like I go in,
my food's the best.
Yeah, like I don't go into anything like that, but I also don't like to say that I'm a chef,
right?
Because to me, so many people who are chefs say that with so much pride.
Well, and people will, if you're really good at your profession, people will say it. Like,
yes.
You never have to say it. It's like, oh, this happens all the time. It's like when somebody looks at me and says, I majored in this in college. And I'm like, first of all, college was 15 years ago. So don't know how I feel about that. Second of all, you should never have to point to your wall at your degree. Like ever. You don't go to a doctor's office and you're like, and he's like, hey, your stomach.
Look at this.
Like, and you're like, I don't think you're right. And he's like, well, I graduated. It doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I never say the things I'm good at because I don't want to. My thing is I don't want to say that I'm good at something and then like I go in with full confidence and then
just bomb.
Just completely bomb. Like I don't want to be humbled, so I go in with humility. For most everything because, and I was just talking about this the other day because there's always somebody better.
Right.
There's always somebody better. Like, yeah, I have good knife skills compared to Josh, but I don't have good knife skills compared to Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
You know, like, or like sushi chefs.
Right.
Have you ever seen sushi?
Crazy.
Oh my goodness, their skills are amazing.
I'm like, you're going to cut off all of your fingers.
And they don't. And they're like not even looking. Like, they're like blindfolded.
Yeah.
They have like headphones in their ears and somehow they're like,
it's like a teenager texting without looking at his phone.
Yeah, it's
You're
amazing.
Like, what are you doing? But you're right. If you go into that in regards to like, without being teachable and trainable, like you always have to go into a situation saying like, I can learn from this. Like, there's somebody better than me.
100%. Yeah, because otherwise, like, I just don't want to be humbled.
You'll get buried really fast.
Be the person who's like walking in chest out, like, yeah, I got this, and then somebody else is like, boom.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I owned that. Like,
there's times like even like I'll hear somebody preach and I go, whoa. Like that would like you just did that so well. It was so effortless. And then you see the guy who like is the opposite of that, and you're like, bro, you're trying too hard. Like just stop. Like come down.
Yeah, there are.
I think there's multiple professions. Like you can just tell people who are in their groove who are just really good at what they do. They're
in the right spot.
Yeah, like they don't. You could tell they care, but at the same time, like it's just so, like I'm just doing my thing. So
yeah. I think we're both are good at that. What do you classify as like a good sermon? Like, or is that just like,
what do I classify as a good sermon?
Like the Holy Spirit was working on you that day. You know what I mean? Like, how do you differentiate the two?
Yeah.
Because you said like they're in their spot. You know what they're doing. You know that they love it.
Yeah.
Is that the defining.
Like it's really funny without like going into this with like this huge thing. Like there's a difference between preachers, pastors, and motivational speakers. And I would say like 90% of what's happening and transpiring in the church right now is motivational speaking, which I don't have time for. Like there's a lot of guys that I look at and I just go be a motivational speaker. Like you don't need that. You know what I mean? Like you're almost doing more of a disservice because you're kind of like you're a hype man. Like we don't go to church to be
hype man for Jesus.
Yeah. Super weird. Then you have like guys who are good pastors who I would say like are good shepherds, just good with people. Yeah. Like our associate, he's a fantastic shepherd. Yeah. Like if he came and visited you in the hospital, like great. Like it would be. There's a guy in town whom I love, and I told him the other day, I was like, "Hey man, if I'm in the hospital, can you come visit me?" Because I would just he has a good presence.
Oh, not okay. Got it.
Yeah. And our associate would be fine too, but like in that, and then you have guys who are fantastic, like preachers who open up the Bible, explain it, and then illustrate it in a way where I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. And then apply it to your life. So like take, for example, because this just happened the other day, like the parable of the lost sheep. There was a guy who explained that in its like proper context, like what this means to a shepherd, and then illustrated it like this is like the house is on fire and the dad gets out all the kids and there's one still left and he leaves the kids in the front yard and then he goes and gets that kid and he comes back and then he just explains it like in a way where he's like, and this is what it looks like for you. And I'm like, and when you do it flawlessly and effortlessly, it's kind of like when you put the food on the plate and you pass it across, you're like, that's going to be good.
Perfection. Yeah. But I wonder if any of them ever feel like it's perfect. Like, do you walk away sometimes and you're like, this was good, and then somebody's like, you could have done better, Mr. Muck.
Always walk away like you could do better, because I think the chef is in the same category. But like, here's when and maybe I don't know because I'm not a chef, but like, here's when it really like the rubber meets the road. It's when that person puts the sandwich in their mouth and they go, this is so good.
It's the eyes closed moment. That's what I call it. Yeah. The eyes closed moment. Like I know that my food is good if you take a bite and immediately your eyes close. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I look for that. When Josh has a really good, like, I know when I nailed that meal.
And I think that is when you would call it, like I would call that landing. And so like for preaching, it's when people sit back. Like so, or lean forward, whichever way their posture is. So, like if somebody's back in their chair and they
I'm gonna start rocking.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If somebody's back in their chair and they lean forward, that you're whatever you're doing, which is really what God's doing. But like it's working, and like they're craving that. Or if they're already leaned forward and they rock back and like have like some sort of like put their hand on their chin, or they're like. We have a couple people in our church that like will go, like that is, or they'll close their eyes. Like some people do that, like, and you can just tell like
they're just asleep.
Yeah. Whatever it was that just happened, that is, I would put that on the same page as like you put the sandwich in your mouth and it was so good. Yeah. And you're like, okay, now here's the hard part, which is the whole thing. I think you would agree with this. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but then the hunt to do that again and again, and that's the frustrating part, because you leave all the time and you go, okay, how do I replicate that?
Yeah. No, I can totally agree with it. I'm not gonna lie though, as you're explaining that leaning and rocking, Lil Jon in the East Side sings that song, lean with it, rock with it.
It's all music today. It's all music.
I've been listening to so much music. So man, I have been packing for vacation.
Oh yeah, because you're on a vacation. Yeah.
I'm going on vacation, and I hate packing. And so I have been listening to so much music to try and keep me in the zone, but I'm not in the zone.
It's hard.
I'm not in the zone today.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking for every excuse. I did find a really great radio. Like I clicked on a radio today. Yeah. But it is all music today.
Going back to the thing, like I think that's why I resonate with like people who do drugs. Cause like I get it. like you get, whether it's running or cooking or preaching or whatever the case is,
you're looking for that high.
When you get the sliver, it's like there's things about that, like with life. Like life is like that. There are little things where people get addicted to because they're like, oh, Like,
Yeah.
I liked how, and you have to be careful with it because if you like how that feels, so, and I mean, maybe you could speak into this too, but like, there are times where I have to question my motives with that too, because there's some times where I go like, oh, I liked how that felt instead of you got what I was trying to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I just like how that felt, I have to completely change my attitude and my mindset in there and it's a selfish motive where like I would think it'd be the same way with the sandwich because you're like, I did that. And it's like, no. I just put the ingredients together well.
Yeah.
And then you took it and it was like, okay, now I want people to experience that like again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, in that sense, I don't know if I resonate with people who do drugs.
I just know that's how they feel, right? Like they got a sliver of something that makes them
That
feel good.
euphoric
And,
yeah.
and it's just like okay.
How do we replicate?
Yeah,
it?
those are two totally different paths. I'm fully aware of that. It's so bad. People are like, so let me get this straight. Preaching is like doing drugs. It can be, you know. It's depressing. It is depressing. Just throwing that out there. And now
please do not do
the
drugs.
spiral's gone down, and we're done. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I know exactly. Like I know what you're talking about, but it's so. I think mine is more how do I replicate that experience that I had to give to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. Like, not everybody is going to experience something.
That happens too, though. Yeah, you're right. Like, so there's a time where you took the bite and you were like, oh man, I want to be able to give somebody what I just had.
That's going to make me all week.
Oh, that's tough.
I'm going to be eating so much food.
Is that what you guys are doing this week?
Oh yeah, 100%. So we're going to New Orleans.
What?
Yeah, going to NOLA. Leaving tomorrow morning.
When is their big like thing in New Orleans? What's it called?
So they have Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, yeah.
Which is in February.
So
it's
you're not even
right
close
before
to that.
Easter.
Yeah.
I like to go for the Jazz Fest.
Wait, so you're taking like where you work is taking like everybody down?
No, I'm going like we just chose to go there.
Oh, just you and Josh?
No, Josh, me, his sister, and brother-in-law.
No kids?
No kids,
bro.
I know, it's so exciting. Like
for a week?
No.
How long?
Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We come back on Saturday.
Wow. So you're gonna food out down there?
Oh, 100%.
Did you already like scout it all out?
Yeah, kind of. So like we have.
You're like, I don't care what I'm packing. I just need to be at this restaurant at 5:00.
Like so we're all food people.
Yeah.
All of us are food people. So we have 100% like said, these are the things that like places that we want to go. So
you scouted your whole vacation off of food.
Well, I do stuff like that for my job too. For customers.
When if we're gone over like a weekend, I'm immediately like, where are we going to church on Sunday?
Yeah. And so they have never been. The last time that I went, I was like 13 weeks pregnant. So, and
you've been there before? I've
been there before, but the food was really heavy, and that was kind of our secondary trip. We had, my family like put all of their money together to get us. We never went on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
And so they got us a cruise going out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And so we went down there, and the cruise just so happened to end when the jazz festival started, and so I was like, let's like stay,
stick around.
But I was 13 weeks pregnant. So cruise food, have you ever been on a cruise?
Oh yeah.
So cruise
best
food,
vacation ever. Food is hit or miss depending on where you're at,
and also if you're pregnant, like that plays.
Never gone on a cruise pregnant.
Well, and you've never been pregnant.
It's never happened to me.
That was
full confidence. I have yet to go anywhere pregnant. Yeah.
So there was a lot that happened with that. So I was 13 weeks pregnant. That was the first time that I ever got a sunburn.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible.
I used to tan. I used to work at tanning salon, so I got tanned for free. Like I tanned. I know. If anybody knows me, they're like, "Girl, you're half
I feel like this
American.
is a whole nother conversation." This could go down a rabbit trail. Anyway,
so
we'll try to stay with
I tanned, and I got so burnt. And I used to not burn.
That's the
but
worst.
As I've gotten older, my skin doesn't regenerate. I don't know. I say that like
regenerate, or are you a mutant?
I'm a lizard. I'm a lizard person.
The skin fell off. I haven't created new skin yet. How does that even happen?
I have never been burnt, and so that
You're like,
was
this is my third left hand. I've cut it off twice.
How crazy would that be if people could regenerate?
I don't know.
Because what is it? It's
you can heal yourself though. Like it's a real thing. Like you can't grow back like like things, but it amazes me. You can cut like you know how deep you can cut in your skin, and your body will be like, we got that. We'll take care of that. We're gonna.
Oh yeah, my thumb. I almost cut it off, and it's like you would barely
you're
know.
Good. Don't worry about it. We'll grow back.
Anyways, no, I didn't molt. That was the first time that I got burnt.
Yeah.
I also got stung by maybe a jellyfish.
That's the worst.
It was the worst time ever.
Hard pass.
So then we got back, and like cruise food is so heavy.
Yeah.
And I didn't have like bad pregnancies at all. Like I wasn't sick or anything, but just the heaviness of cruise food, going to the heaviness of food in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to?
I have not. I'm trying to think if I've been like in that area. I don't think I've been in that area, but I know what you're talking about, like food wise. There,
It's
just different.
Very rich, very heavy, and so I just didn't get to really.
A lot of seafood too.
Lots of seafood.
Yeah, lots of seafood.
I'm so excited about it. So, anyways, we just randomly, because I love my brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah,
we all get along really, really well. It's funny because she is like Josh.
Is that his sister then?
His sister. Yeah. They're very similar. They're like indoor cat people.
I don't think I've ever met her.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then her husband and I are like the Labradors. So like
the labs are going out tonight.
Really, like, so we all just like blend really, really well.
Yeah.
We've gotten along. We've known each other now. I think I first met her when I was 17.
Well, how long have you guys been married?
12 years. We just had our anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
And so like we've just known each other, and she's always been with the same guy. So like we've just kind of lifed together. Yeah. So last year we were just talking like, wouldn't it be so fun if we went? And so I don't know how it
just happened,
came to fruition, but it did. And so she wants to go to like Cafe du Monde where there's beignets, which are like.
I almost thought you said bidets. I was like, you guys are going to Louisiana for bidets? Like, they got a toilet down there that just makes my stomach. I can drink as much milk as I want. So immediately I was like, wait, what?
That's horrible imagery.
What is a beignet?
It's like a donut. It's fried.
You're talking in another language right now.
It's a fried pastry that they coat. I'm pulling it up. I'm going to give a genuine description of it because my inability to define things is going to catch me here. And then there are going to be people who are like, that's not it. It is a deep fried pastry of French origin. It is made from pâte à choux, which is also French. So pâte à choux is the same dough that you make for what are they called? The puffs that everybody eats. Cream puffs.
There you go.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I love cream puffs.
So a beignet, but it's fried instead of baked.
Gotcha.
Cream puffs are baked.
Just shove that thing in a fryer. Let's see what happens.
And that's exactly what it is. And then they just coat it in so much powdered sugar. And she hasn't ever had that. I have had that. I want to go to the original place where Bananas Foster's originated.
Yeah.
So we're
all
eating
over.
So much food. I'm going to come back morbidly obese, and it's going to be great. I'm
gonna install a couple bidets. It's going to be fine.
I'm going to lick some bidets.
Oh! Negative! Whoa! People are like, no,
we're done.
We're done.
So yeah, we're doing that. We're going on a swamp tour.
Oh, nice.
On an airboat.
We're gonna see some of the swamp people.
I want to swamp people.
Yeah, isn't there a show on like Discovery or something like that? Swamp people.
I have no clue.
Go down there. We're on a bayou. We're gonna run you down.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm like, I want to touch an alligator so
really?
bad.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
There are
photo or it didn't happen.
Ooh! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tell our tour guide, our swamp tour guide.
Listen, man, I have a podcast, and if I don't touch an alligator, people are gonna get really upset.
I
hope you do.
I don't know that I've ever held one.
Don't hold alligators,
like a baby
kid.
one, like a little
that's
tiny
different.
baby. I mean, you could hold an alligator, I'm sure.
Like coddled him like a giant alligator. Like, I don't know why he's not biting me. This is great. Look at this. I'm on top of him. He's having fun.
I would never hold an adult alligator.
No, he'll eat you.
Well, if they tape, no, they're in their habitat.
Even
so.
if somebody had a taped
Here's the
alligator
thing.
mouth, I'm not jumping on that thing. Like, no way.
I would, and then I would immediately think about it, and I'd be like, Kim,
What am I doing?
Did you do?
What are we doing? It's too late.
You're on an alligator. What do we do now?
How'd I get here?
Yeah, that's one of those, like, I have so much false confidence that, like, I can
man.
wrestle this thing if it gets out of hand.
I'll do it. And then you're like halfway in it. You're like, why? Who signed up for this marathon? This is a stupid idea. This is dumb. I'm out.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that.
Congratulations.
Riding alligators.
Fantastic.
on bidets.
On bidets.
Riding alligators on bidets. I think that might be our title this week.
All right. On that note, as we land
man.
this plane, anything else you got?
Uh,
Or anything you'd like to hear from our beloved audience? You just went.
you can't ask me that because I had one thought.
I got a T-shirt in my mind of you on a bidet riding an alligator.
Can
Like,
somebody
I don't even know if that's like. I'm sitting here going like, I don't think like that's a thing. Like,
no, but I have noticed one thing.
one thing.
We have been saying like.
I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. That's
Was that Linkin Park?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was heavy.
There
In
we
the
go.
group that I listened to, Linkin Park.
Okay, say the word
stole the show.
like.
Okay, so we've been saying like, comment, share.
Oh yeah. Subscribe.
No. Well, yes, but no. We're getting it wrong.
What is it?
Rate, review, subscribe.
Whoa.
So
Look at you.
that's
Rate,
what we
review, subscribe.
Rate, review, and subscribe on
All right.
whatever
Platform.
platform you're listening.
I like that.
That's what we're
Yeah.
needing to make sure that we have you guys do. So rate the podcast. We're only accepting 5 stars. If you give us anything less than that,
I'm
then
actually.
I'm gonna send you on a bidet on an alligator. And
It's funny you said that because like I'm kind of waiting for the bad ones to like pop up just so we could read bad reviews. Like this podcast is the worst. Like whose idea was this? Like mean tweets from Jimmy Kimmel.
just make sure if you have a bad review, still give us 5 stars.
5 stars. I gave this 5 stars because they told me to, but seriously, this show is the worst.
This is trash.
Yeah, I listened to this for an hour and I'm dumber. I should not have pressed play. My grandma sent me this, who lives in a nursing home. She has nothing to do with her time. This was on the bottom of her list of things to listen to.
Yeah. So just if you're gonna give us a bad review, give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars, 100%.
So yeah, rate, review, subscribe. Also, if you have, I still want to know what your concerts.
Those 2 comments were actually really, really good. So.
Yeah, I want to know some concerts. Like, have you been overseas?
Yeah.
That would be
What's going on in the rest of the world?
There's some other great concerts that are happening.
Yeah, great concerts would be a good one. Like, yeah, some of those things.
And then maybe while I'm traveling, make sure that
where are you
comment.
going? It's summer.
Yeah, where are you going this summer?
Where are
I'm
you
sure
going?
that
What are you
we'll
doing?
talk about vacations on another.
You're headed
podcast.
You're headed to Louisiana. And
Where?
Louisiana.
What is that?
It's lasagna in Louisiana. All in the same thing. Louisiana. Hey, come down here, crawfish. I'm going to Tennessee in a few weeks. So yeah,
Nice.
we'll hit up the family vacation.
Yeah, we'll chat about family vacays. But yeah, make sure that you follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, Grease and Grace Pod, or Grease and Grace Podcast is our Facebook handle.
And then rate, review, and subscribe.
Rate, review, subscribe. And if you have any responses, just make sure that you send them in to graceandgrapepod@gmail.com. And let us know after. This is our 5th episode.
Yep.
And I don't know if I can remember what we've talked about from here on out. Like, I don't know where they are. So if you're responding to something, just say, like, in response to episode
2, episode 3.
fill in the blank. Even if we are far past, if we're on episode 15 and you just started listening,
we'll go back and listen.
Let us know. Yeah, I would love. We could share a snippet or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's it.
That's it.
That's all the line of business.
Until next time.
I'm gonna be so much fatter next week. Ooh, baby, it's gonna be great.
Thank God for
I'm
audio
gonna
podcasts.
Okay, bye.
Bye.